What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another World of Warcraft Dragonflight Alpha video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new talent tree for the Subtlety Rogue. If you haven't watched my first video for the Rogue, which was the Outlaw Specialization talent tree one, I encourage you to go check that one out because I went into detail looking at the class talent tree in that video, and I'm not going to do that in this one because I've already done it there. And just to save some time, we're going to skip that and mainly focus on the specialization side of the tree here. The goal with this video is just to get a feel for what's in the talent trees, and as we go, we're going to be looking at making a build that's going to work in open world content for questing, leveling, world quest farming, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're just going to jump in and do that. Before we get started, if you guys want to see more videos from me for World of Warcraft beyond just kind of, messing around in the alpha, please show your support, communicate with me, let me know via likes, views, comments on the video that is the case. Really, it's going to come down to seeing what sort of interest and audience there are for these videos. That's going to determine whether or not I end up doing anything beyond these kind of talent overviews. So, all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look. So we are spec'd into Subtlety here, and it looks like we're going to get Sap as our ability that we get without any talent points invested. First thing we're going to do is jump into the spellbook here. And we're going to take a look at the abilities that we already have as a rogue with no talent points invested. We've kind of done this in every video, but we're going to go through and do it again. So we've got our Crimson Vial, we've got our Eviscerate, which is going to be, as of right now, our finisher that we have in the book. We've got our Interrupts, we've got our Kidney Shot finisher with a stun. We've got our Poisons, Sap, obviously, which we need stealth for. Should be on the bar already. It is. We got our Slice and Dice finisher, which is going to increase our attack speed. We've got Sprint, and we've got Vanish. In the Subtlety tree, we've got Backstab, which we do have available to us out of stealth. We can also use it in stealth if we want to. We've got Rupture, which is our finishing move that causes a bleed, which is already... Here we go. We have Shadow Strike, which is our main stealth energy spender we're going to be using here. And then we have Shuriken Toss, which is a ranged ability that's going to do some damage and give us a combo point. Just, let us pull stuff if we want. And then we have our Mastery Executioner, increases the damage done by our finishing moves by quite a bit. All right. So Subtlety is the big finishing move, stealth kind of focused rogue. So let's jump in, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of build some stuff here on the rogue side. We're not going to get too invested into min-maxing this. I think this time, though, we are going to want to heavily invest into the stealth stuff on this side of the tree that we've kind of skipped on the other two rogues. So we're going to do that for sure. That being said, we do want to get into the Nimble Fingers and the Iron Stomach here for the increased viability of our Crimson Vial. That's going to help us survive quite a bit. And I think we're just going to do that through Garrote Evasion right here. We're going to go down here. So let's go ahead and we'll grab Cloak of Shadows. We'll get the stealth movement speed point here. And then we're probably going to grab Tricks of the Trade, even though I don't love putting a point into that for open world content. It is going to get us into some of the other abilities that we have here. We have 2 points left that we need to spend. I personally think I want to pick up Feint. There's an ability later on that allows us to cause that to give us some increased damage reduction. And also, I like going down the middle to get this cooldown reduction for sprint. We're going to grab Iron Stomach. Then from here, we'll go ahead and grab Shadow Step. We'll reduce the energy cost of Sap. And then here, we've got energy cost of finishing moves reduced, or while Stealth or Shadow Dance is active, our abilities deal 10% more damage. Probably can go either way here. We'll go for finishing move energy cost reduction to help with our energy there. We are going to want to come down the middle and get this vigor, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we'll put points into ambush for now. Melee attacks increased. Now we're going to be able to put a point there. We'll grab marked for death to be able to continue down through here. Let's put lethality and vigor in as our points there. And then we'll grab cheat death. And we'll also grab find weakness. So, like I said, we're not going to min-max this too hard. I think that's just what we're going to roll with for right now. All right, so let's move this stuff around. We've got our CC with gouge. We got our Cloak of Shadows defensive. We got Groat, which we're mainly going to use from stealth if we use it, I believe. Not really sure. We'll have to see when we get into the spec talent tree. We got Marked for Death as a DPS cooldown. We got Tricks of the Trade, which we really just don't need. We got Shadow Step. We've got Feint for defense, Blind for CC, and Evasion for defense as well. Okay, so let's jump into the tree. Wow, we have 3 choices. This is the most kind of complicated looking rogue tree so far, like specialization tree here. So we're going to get in and we're going to go through this by looking at the active abilities we can pick up, which are the ones in the boxes here. And then Rogue doesn't have any choice boxes where you get to like kind of pick between 2 different things. That would be indicated by a box with arrows on each side. So we don't have that. So we're going to check out our active abilities and then we'll look at the passive abilities as we kind of build out the tree as we go. Looks like we have quite a few active, so let's take a look. So we have Shadow Step, which we already have here. And this will, let's see, does it increase the charges for us? I don't know that it does anything for us. Grants 1 charge. Yeah, I'm still a little confused on how the Shadow Step here versus the Shadow Step here kind of thing works. We'll figure it out at some point. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But we have Shadow Step. I'm also, as I go through this, not going to like go in detail into every single ability, read them all out completely. I'm going to assume you have some knowledge of Rogue here. Look at the stuff that I need a refresher on or the stuff that seems new. So Shadow Step, we got our Shuriken Storm, which is our AoE ability. Deals damage and gives us combo points. We have our Shadow Dance, 1 minute cooldown. It lets us use our stealth abilities and grants all the combat benefits of stealth for 9 seconds and increases our damage by 10%. And the effect doesn't get broken from taking damage or attacking. Pretty big ability for Subtlety rogues. We have Black Powder, so this launches Black Powder at all nearby enemies, dealing physical damage. Not a lot, though. Not a lot. Interesting. We have Gloomblade, which punctures your target with your shadow-infused blade, bypassing their armor. We got Shadow Blades, 3 minute cooldown, draws upon the power of your weapons, causing your combo point generating abilities to generate additional combo points and deal 30% additional damage to Shadow. Got Secret Technique. This is the Naruto finisher. You make clones of yourself, and they all pierce targets near you. So kind of, I'm getting the vibe this over here is going to be like our AoE side of the tree. Symbols of Death, 30-second cooldown. This generates energy and increases damage done by 10% for 10 seconds. We got a pretty big jump down to Sepsis, which we've seen in the other Rogue videos. This does a big chunk of nature damage over time, and then if the target lives, they take another chunk. If they don't live, then the cooldown for Sepsis gets reduced by 30 seconds. Shuriken Tornado. You focus intently, then release a Shuriken Storm every second for the next 4 seconds. And then down here we have Flagellation. You lash the target with shadow damage, causing each combo point spent within the next 12 seconds to lash out for an additional amount. Dealing damage with Flagellation increases your haste by 1%, persisting 12 seconds after the torment fades. So I'm not really pulled in any direction necessarily. The middle, most likely, and maybe off to the left. I've used Gloomblade, Symbols of Death, and Sepsis before, and I do like those. I'm feeling like very AoE heavy over here, so I doubt we're going to end up on that side of the tree, but we'll have to see what some of the passives are as we go. All right, so let's take a look. As of right now, I don't feel like I want to get Shadow Step because I already have it over here. It looks like it already comes with 2 charges. I'm not really sure what this is doing. It looks the exact same. So most likely we're going to get one of these. So we have Shuriken Storm, which we'll probably just pick up just to have an AoE, but it's not necessarily going to determine the direction of our build. And over here we have Improved Backstab. So Backstab has an increased chance to critically strike when you're behind your target. Critical strikes now also apply Find Weakness. Now the problem with Backstab in open world content when you're by yourself is you're almost never in the back of your target, and it's annoying to get to the back of your target, and it's just like a whole mini game that I just don't want to play. So I'm not heavily invested in this, but we may need to take it to get to some of the other stuff. So let's take a look at the next row. Shadow Strike and Backstab have a 15% chance to hit the target twice each time they deal damage. That's pretty nice. So Backstab here is going to deal a little bit of damage, and it's increased by 20% when you're behind your target. And unfortunately, this is kind of like your bread and butter for Subtlety, for building combo points. So maybe we could find a replacement. That would be really nice. Usually, I think that is Gloomblade is our replacement for that. So going down this may actually be okay if we pick up Gloomblade. I think Gloomblade is the, hey, I'm solo and I don't want to have to do the backstab minigame kind of thing. If you look, this does about 700. Gloomblade does about 800. So it's a little bit higher than backstab. And it still awards a combo point. So we could definitely go this way. After entering Stealth or Shadow Dance, your next cheap shot is free. That's okay, but not really necessary in open world content. After entering Stealth, your next Shadow Strike gains up to 10 seconds of Slice and Dice and generates 2 additional combo points if Slice and Dice is active. Interesting. So, yeah, we can kind of go this way and pick up Gloomblade. I think that's probably a good idea to do that. Here, abilities cost 15% less energy, while Stealth or Shadow Damage or Shadow Dance is active. Shadow Step's cooldown is reduced by 20%, and maximum range is increased by 10% or 20%. And then here, your abilities deal increased magic damage. So I'm not feeling the need to kind of, I think we're going to go Improve Backstab. We're going to head this direction and get that. We're going to go here and get that. Then we have 5 points to spend. We're going to pick up Shuriken Storm. What do we have over here? Your finishing moves generate 6 energy per combo point spent into Shuriken Storm, reducing enemy movement speed. Well, we want to get into Shadow Dance somehow, so we either have to do that from 10% increased magic damage or abilities cost 15% less. We're going to go with that one. This one, we have 3 points left. I think we'll do the finishing moves per combo point. We'll do the 10% increased magic damage. I think. We'll see if we want to come back over to this tree or not. And then if we do, we can take this point out here. Let's see what we're getting connected to on this row. So Gloomblade, like I said, I think we want to pick that one up. Your auto attacks have a chance to generate a combo point in 8 energy. That's nice. We've got our Shadow Blades. Shuriken Storm. Rupture deals additional shadow damage and applies to 1 energy or 1 enemy within 8 yards. Increases the poison damage of your weapons, or increases damage of your weapon poisons. Your rogue abilities that deal nature or bleed damage now deal shadow damage instead. Okay. Then that connects us here. Eviscerate and Black Powder deal an additional 20% damage as shadow to targets with Find Weakness. And then we would have to take this to come over here. Increase damage dealt. Extra combo point. Shuriken Tornado. Yeah, I don't think we care about this chain for this open world build. So we're gonna put the point in here. All right, let's grab Gloomblade. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna continue down this way, but let's see what we have in here. So Shadow Blades is gonna take us down the middle. Finishing moves reduce the remaining cooldown on Shadow Dance by 1 second per combo point, so that's going to let us Shadow Dance more often. Shadow Techniques now also reduce the remaining cooldown. Okay. Okay. Movement speed increased by 20% and damage taken reduced by 10% for 8 seconds after gaining Stealth, Vanish, or Shadow Dance. Okay, little movement speed boost. Shadow Dance increases damage. After Shadow Dance ends, Backstab deals an additional 50% damage as Shadow. And then Shadow Mist, not yet implemented, gaining Stealth, Vanish, or Shadow Dance expels Shadow Mist nearby. Walking through the mist refreshes the cooldown of Shadow Step and supercharges a combo point. Damaging finishing moves that consume the same number of combo points as your supercharge function act as if they consume 7 combo points. So kind of like the Kyrian finisher, I believe. That all seems okay. Like you're really going heavy into Shadow Dance usage and spamming, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But let's see what we get over on the other side of the tree. Let's check out this one. Vanish grants you a shield for 6 seconds, absorbing damage equal to 30% of your max health. That's actually pretty nice as a little defensive. I kind of like that. All right, over on this side, I like the auto attacks giving us a chance to generate a combo point. That's definitely good. We got Symbols of Death, energy generation, and increased damage. That can pull us into Shroud of Concealment. Buff, which, I'm not worried about that. Symbols of Death increases your critical strike chance as well. Into an additional charge of Vanish. Okay. Backstab and Shadow Strike extend the duration of your Symbols of Death by 0.5 seconds. I've said this before, I'm not a big fan of the duration extension metagame thing that you need to play. But that one's not too terrible because you're going to spam those abilities anyway. We've got Sepsis. Shadow Strike increases the damage of your next backstab by 35%, stacking up to 10 times. Vanish reduces the remaining cooldown of your other rogue abilities by 10 seconds. After activating Symbols of Death, your next Shadow Strike or backstab deals increased damage and generates an additional combo point and is guaranteed to critically strike. I'm going to apply the changes. Okay, cool. So now this changes it to Gloomblade, which is what I wanted to see here. So this is, so we're going Symbols of Death and Gloomblade heavy on this side. We're going Shadow Dance heavy down the middle. Now, I personally think I want to go down the middle far enough to get this shield from Vanish. And then the extra charge of Vanish. That seems really good. The movement speed seems really good as well. And then 25 energy over 3 seconds when you enter Stealth or Shadow Dance. That seems really good too. Let's go Symbols of Death. Oh man, we're already at like the 5-point mark. So I don't know if we can go that heavy in. All right, Shadow Strike increases the damage of your next Gloomblade. We go into the Rotten, and then that does give us enough to put a point right there. Not perfect, but this is probably what I would start testing. Yeah, I think this is what I would start testing. So based on this, let's apply these changes and take a look real quick. So we got our Shuriken Storm, you know, little utility AoE thing there. Shadow Blades. And we have Symbols of Death. We got our Shadow Dance. So let's put these in order. 30, 3-minute cooldown, 1-minute cooldown, Shadows of Death is the one we're going to want to hit all the time. Now, Shadow Strike is going to require stealth, but we will occasionally should be able to use that potentially out of stealth sometimes. So we're basically going to be Gloom Blading into Eviscerate and repeating that. Now, looking at our talent tree, all right, we got increased critical strike chance on our Gloom Blade, it should be. They have a chance to hit twice when they deal damage. Okay, we have a chance to gain Slice and Dice after a Shadow Strike. Okay, we can pop Symbols of Death for energy regeneration and increased damage. And increased critical strike chance. Then our Gloom Blade and Shadow Strike are going to extend the duration. Then our Shadow Strike increases the damage of our next Gloom Blade, stacking up to 3 times. And then after activating Symbols of Death, our next Shadow Strike or Gloom Blade deals increased damage, generates 4 combo points, and is guaranteed to critically strike. So Symbols of Death is on a 30-second cooldown. And we don't have a cooldown reduction for it. We just have a duration extension. So we may not be able to use it every single pull, but we can use it every other pull. Most likely. Or we may be able to extend the duration enough to go from enemy to enemy. Unlikely. It's 10 seconds, 30-second cooldown. We're not going to make up 20 seconds. We may not even make up 10 seconds. So then in addition to that, we have our Shadow Dance, right? Which will let us use our stealth abilities and give us the combat benefits. And that's where we can use our Shadow Strike. And we may want to do that because we can essentially stealth, Shadow Strike, Shadow Dance, Shadow Strike 2 times. And then we're probably hitting a Rupture at that point. But then our Gloom Blade will get the benefits of the perforated veins here for increased damage. So we're going to try that out. We're going to see what happens if we just like Shadow Strike and then Gloom Blade into Eviscerate. We're going to see what happens if we Shadow Strike, Shadow Dance into Shadow Strike and get the maximum buff on a Gloom Blade. And then also, as we're doing that, our finishing moves are going to reduce the cooldown on Shadow Dance. Our Shadow Techniques, which should include Symbol of Death and Gloom Blade, I hope, will reduce the cooldown of Shadow Blades, which is not great. Popping a 3-minute cooldown, we're not going to do that super often. Vanish will reduce the cooldown of our other rogue abilities by 20 seconds. So we could actually like vanish mid-fight and cut 20 seconds off of Shadow Dance, which is pretty significant. Alright, let's get some poisons on here. We're going to do instant poison. And then we'll also do, I guess, wound poison. Oh, sorry. Instant poison is our lethal. And then crippling poison is our non-lethal. We didn't pick up any other poisons anywhere. We could pick up numbing poison for a point, which may be worth the investment, potentially. All right, so let's see what happens if we Shadow Strike, and then we're just going to Gloom Blade into an Eviscerate. All right, so let's see what we get here. All right, Shadow Strike, Gloom Blade, 1800, pretty nice. Into an Eviscerate for 2700, also pretty solid. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to try to Shadow Strike 3 times, Eviscerate Gloom Blade. All right, let's see if we can get the Shadow Strikes in. Okay, so we do have to Shadow Dance. Oh, and then it screws up our bar. Okay. Well, let's pop Vanish. Take 20 seconds. Okay, it didn't... Is it not yet implemented? It's not yet implemented. Okay. And neither is the additional charge of Vanish. Okay. So let's change up our bar here. So there's Gloomblade. And then let's go ahead and add our... Eviscerate. Alright, and when... so let's do the normal combo again. We'll take a look at it while we're waiting on the cooldown. So this... Wow, that was straight into... Build up Gloomblades. Oh, we got... Yeah, we're getting combo points pretty quickly there, actually. Because Gloomblade has that additional chance to strike. Okay. Alright, so we have Shadow Dance back. So we're going to Shadow Strike, Shadow Dance, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Gloomblade, I think, basically. It's an inefficient use of combo points, but I haven't really figured out how to fix that yet. Alright, so here, boom, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Gloomblade. That was sad. Did we even get the buff? Did we even get the buff? Alright, what's reducing our cooldown? Finishing moves, okay. We're just gonna reduce the cooldown of Shadow Strike faster by casting finishing moves. Okay. Alright, did we get the stacking buff? Is that another not yet implemented? No, it says Shadow Strike increases the damage of your next Gloomblade by 35%, stacking up to 3 times. Alright, so are we getting the buff? Yes, perforated veins, okay. There we go, 3,500 damage. That's actually pretty solid. Okay, that was a little bit better there. Okay. Yeah, so we just have some nice burst damage is really what it comes down to. 1,100, 2,000, 1,300 on a non-crit. 1,300, we hit for 1,600 crit. We're generating combo points like crazy. Not really having any energy regen problems. And we haven't even used Symbols of Death yet. Okay, so let's see, how do we incorporate Symbols of... Let's just use Symbols of Death in our regular rotation, right? So we're going to hit this, and then we're just going to go into our regular rotation. So hitting this is going to give us the energy regen and damage increase. And critical strike. And then our Gloomblade will extend the duration. And our next Shadow Strike or Gloomblade will deal increased damage, generate 4 additional combo points, and is guaranteed to critically strike. So I think like we actually don't... I think we want to put our first finisher and then hit Symbols of Death. I think it's kind of where we want to end up here. So we like Shadow Strike, Gloomblade, Eviscerate, Symbols of Death, Gloomblade. Oh my gosh, that hit for 5k. Oh, and we can... Oh man, we can keep that Shadow... the Symbols of Death buff up pretty up. That hit for 5k because of double strike, double crit. That was pretty nice. Symbols of Death is back up. Alright, so let's do it. How do we do this? Shadow Strike, Shadow Dance, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, Gloomblade. Do we do it that way? I think we want a Symbols of death when we're right before we're ready to cast Gloomblade and clear out our combo points first. So Shadow Strike, Shadow Dance, Shadow Strike, Shadow Strike. That's 3. 5.8k Gloomblade crit. Oh my god, that's insane. Like, just based on the numbers that I've been seeing, I forget which, was it Shaman? It might have been Shaman, or maybe it was Outlaw Rogue. I don't remember. I got like a 9k or 10k crit somewhere. That is by far the biggest I've seen. That was nutty. That was a nutty amount of damage off of a non-finishing move. That's insane. We're gonna do that again. All right, so Shadow here. Oh my god. Every time. Guaranteed crit. Oh, that's so good. Man, that's nice. Do we get a better hit off of I wonder if do we get a better hit, like a stronger hit off of the Shadow Strike? I don't think we do. Yeah, I don't think we would. Right? Because let's find out. Can we hit? We can hit Symbols of Death. Yeah, that was not good. 50%. Like, it didn't even crit. It didn't even crit, right? I'm weirdly having a lot of fun messing with this. I can't wait to test this in open world content. So it should be... This is supposed to guaranteed crit. Oh, 3,700, I think is what it was. This feels smooth. I just can't get over that, like, almost 6k Gloomblade crit. That's insane. Alright, you guys, that is going to do it for this video. I think at this point, like, these just need to get into the open world and be tested, and we just need to mess with them a little bit. But, you know, is this the best build in the world? Probably not. But this is my first time looking at the talent tree, and this is kind of what I came up with. And we'll, like I said, take it out into the open world with the other builds, test it out. And obviously, by the time I'm in the position to do any sort of guides or anything like that, these will be a lot, you know, more research than they are right now. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. You enjoyed checking out the talent tree. And if you did, you know, throw a like on it, leave me a comment, something like that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.